without further ado, our legendary guest, John, will be leading us on this weapons
Don't call
Wednesday.
me legendary.
Legendary.
I'm a legendary
All right.
bullet sponge. I mean,
There you go.
but
Let's do it.
But how are you guys doing today? I am John Harple, and if you're wondering, this is actually my real name, which is stupid, I know, but I never expected to actually be playing online. So I just did it to just get started, to just jump in.
Name? That's weird.
Oh, mine was for a long time as well. It was Jakey Spectre. I mean,
I'm
other
gonna-
than Jake.
I might change it at some point anyway, but
Yeah.
No.
So it'll be recognizable enough. I'll make sure. But so I'm just gonna give you a little quick story. So when I was a kid, growing up in northeastern Ohio, I went to a Catholic school going through grade school.
Toledo.
So I was a big, we already referenced this now, Cleveland Indians fan growing up. And so all of a sudden in 4th grade, we got this announcement that an Indians player would come and visit to our little Catholic school. And so, of course, all of us who love baseball there, we were all so excited because this was the time of all the really good 90s Indians teams, and Manny Ramirez and Kenny Lofton and all this stuff like that. And so when the day comes, who do we get? We get a guy named John McDonald, who played in Double-A baseball. He's Double-A baseball player who ended up actually becoming a pro later on, playing with the Toronto Blue Jays. I'm your John McDonald. That's what I'm giving you.
Right.
You guys got Good Bet. You guys got Pink Ponage. I'm your John McDonald. So the reason why I put that out there is that here's the thing. Now I am maybe not the caliber of Good Bet or Pink Ponage. But part of what I can tell you and maybe help you guys with is the fact that I am not those people. I have to find my own unique way to play this game because I'm not just faster than everybody else. I'm not just... I don't have everything down to a science like Pink Ponage. I watch his videos, as we probably all do. And so I get all that information and stuff like that too. But I have to make sure that because I'm not always I'm a good player. I'll say that about myself. But at the same time, I'm not necessarily the one guy, the guy that you just want to run away from at all times. I play best sometimes with somebody else who's better than I am, which I think a lot of us could say that.
Yeah.
So my thought process is that not just talking about weapons, because Good Bet, and watching Good Bets and Pink Ponages, they went over everything in tons of detail. But one of the things that I wanted to talk about is because I'm a squad leader for Phoenix. I have a squad called Phoenix Parabellum. We're in Red Division, and we've gone from purple to red in like 3 different seasons total.
Wow.
So one of the things that we do really well as a team is that, specifically for me, is that my joy comes in understanding what I am and what I'm not, and surrounding myself with people who are good at other things too, where I'm weak at. Because like everybody wants to be able to be that guy, that person that just goes in and completely destroys everybody, that can just run out and, you know, you see all these different players like Good Bet or Pink Ponage or Sumachi or you name it. All those people who can just go 1-on-1 with everybody and 1-on-3 and all that stuff like that. That's not necessarily my game. That's not everybody's game. But the question is how do you be the best you? Because you, in truth, are the weapon. It's not any gun in this game can kill you. Whether it's a 1-star PX4, a gold M10, what have you. All of it can be used. And especially since this last update, and this is specific that I wanted to mention, this last update has made it so that there are more guns that are not just usable, but everything kind of has its place. Now it's more like, oh, I can't just use the AKM for literally everything. I can't just use this one gun for this situation. Now you have to learn a bunch of different guns, and you have to learn how to be able to use them, at least to a decent degree. So I'll give you a little example. When I play comp, I do not always use my favorite weapons. Because quite frankly, the time it takes to go shopping and the time it takes to get into a fight are two completely different things. I love to shop. I'm sure everybody here does. Everybody loves to go shopping. I want to get all my favorite guns. But when I go shopping, that's when I get in my problems. So what I do is I say, hey, so let's just go back before the update. So before the update, my favorite weapons would be DT, AKM, AWP. So, but the thing is that I know personally, if I've been playing with my team and I saw how they warmed up, if my teammates may be struggling a little bit and they need to pick me up, I'm going to drop my first AK. If I find a really good one, my teammate gets that, and I'm going to go the second one, whatever my second best gun is, or even whatever my third best gun is. Because sometimes you might not even find a single gun that you want until you have to like kill somebody to do it. And so that's part of what I wanted to talk about. Okay, so let me just ask one of you guys a question, or a couple of you guys a question. What are your favorite guns, especially in the new update? What are your favorite ones?
RFB.
Yep, RFB.
For sure.
Op.
For sure.
RFB, Op,
DT.
DT.
DT still.
Yes, DT's still great.
AWP
I can't use
though.
it anymore.
Still the P90. Yeah, P90 and
Great.
I like the Uzis.
So
Honestly,
what happens when...
I see-
Oh, go ahead.
That's all the
Yes,
guns.
Dan.
I would say the MP5 by far.
Oh,
MP5,
CX now.
100%.
Okay.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
But see,
Harmonica?
it's different now.
Harmonica?
too.
MP5
I love
gold.
pistols
Let me
too.
say gold
Harmonica.
MP5. We should probably emphasize
weapon?
that.
I love
We
it.
need a large enough
I
clip.
love it. So my point is this: what is your second favorite gun? Or, for example, if you're not doing well that day, what do you do to get back on track? Because I've realized, just one real quick comment before I call on you, Scooby, is that one of the things that I've noticed about the best players and good players, or good players to okay players, is when you're playing not well, how do you limit the damage? Because everybody can play well when they're playing well, or doing well, or in the right mental state. But what do you do when you're struggling?
I know. I should
What do you
build
go
more.
to? What?
I should build more. I don't build enough.
Okay. Yeah. And so, like, for me, I go right back to the 1911. If I'm struggling shooting, I would drop most of all my weapons and I'll go into that. But go ahead, Scooby. Go ahead. Yeah. Go ahead.
We can't.
Oh. We can't hear you.
Can't hear you, Scooby.
We just see a lot of
Reset your
hugging.
mic.
I think you're hugging a lot.
No, he was trying to do sign language, guys.
Go and
just
use
like a real
settings
game.
And reset your mic.
He's saying no.
Hey, that reset mic button is a joke.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah.
sometimes.
I've only
Really?
seen that it works a couple of times.
You gotta
I mean,
hit it
it's
50
worked
times and you
twice,
might get
right?
lucky.
It was
Yeah,
so
it
that
kicked
people
me
would
off the
stop
game.
complaining. It was literally so people would stop complaining.
It's like the door close button
Probably.
on an elevator. Doesn't actually
Yes.
do anything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just appeases. Okay, well, Scooby, if you are able to, you can try to rejoin maybe, and then come back, because, yeah, we just don't know.
Hello?
Oh,
Oh, there you are. Hey,
There he
Scooby.
is.
Hi there.
Were you trying to ask a
Alright,
question?
Scooby.
Were you trying to ask a
Scooby-Doo.
question?
I'm an expert.
Wait, he
Maybe not.
fixed it.
Okay, so that was funny. I just got to take.
So why, hey John, why
Who's-
1911? Because it's a good all-arounder.
Oh, for sure.
No, because
25
that was
damage.
the first. That's the first gun that I ever liked. That was the
Ah,
first gun that I
whoa.
ever became comfortable with, and I got comfortable with the. For example, how many of you actually have shot guns outside of Population 1?
Fuck.
Yeah.
I live in Australia, so I haven't
Yeah.
actually
Like,
shot a gun
almost
since
everybody.
the 70s.
I'm in
So-
Chicago.
you don't really have a
Right,
choice.
Okay.
We do plenty of
Use one
shooting
for
in New
defense.
York.
Right.
Oh, wow.
I live in small town northeastern Ohio, so like there are all sorts of guns around here.
Yeah.
But one of the things that I always kind of took when I first started this game, and it took me a really, 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 really long time to get to even where, is that actually going to some of your physical, like actually standing up, standing to the side. I don't know if you can actually see this. Actually, like putting your hands together and being able to move as if you were actually doing it in real life.
Yep.
And so when
That's
I'm
sort of how
actually
I play
sitting
anyway.
there,
Yeah.
and I'm sitting there and I'm actually, actually doing kind of like an isosceles triangle, and I'm actually putting my arms out like I'm actually holding a pistol, it actually feels more comfortable for me to do it. Now, granted, you can't always do that in this game, but if I need to reset myself, I'll go into something like that. I will try to get my momentum going in a positive direction. And so, part of... So, who has seen some of Pink Ponage's new videos? New videos specifically on the new guns. Okay. So, it's really crazy that he is able to go through all of those different guns like that and figure out all that stuff, and he puts all the effort into doing
Justin?
those. But
Justin.
one of the things I always try to find is that if I'm thinking about
They're going to
shooting a
the
weapon,
wrong elevator.
I'm going to be terrible at it.
I can't.
So, for example, if I am, and now bear with me, this is a little, might be a little bit
Come here.
confusing at first. So, say you're in the gun range, and you're going in there, and I go in there quite a lot. So, and I'm sitting there, and I'm trying to work on, say, just the 1911, because now you have to worry about the bouncing, how it bounces really hard after about 5 or 6 shots. When you're sitting there, and I'm sitting there thinking about the trigger, thinking about the trigger, instead of thinking about my shot placement, very well. And I miss my shots. Because it's a rhythm, and this game is a rhythm when you're shooting. It's more important to find a rhythm while shooting rather than shooting it as fast as you possibly can. For example, and I wasn't planning on sharing this, but for example, one of the things that I've noticed is, who likes the Matadors? Anybody?
Oh yeah,
Me,
Yeah.
I do.
I love them.
So I love them too.
For like a pin
Go ahead.
drop. Yeah, I was going to say,
Oh,
I
yeah.
love them
Maybe.
almost as
Yeah.
a pin drop. Yeah.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I've beaten people with against a P90. They're awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
One of the tricks that I realized about on the note of it being a rhythm kind of game and rhythm shooting is that if you start off as hard as you can with, like, as fast as you possibly can shooting with the Matadors, the guns will jump up and there will be 1 or 2 shots that like jump way up in the air and then come back down. And that's the difference between maybe killing somebody and not killing them.
Yeah.
But if you start out not as fast and kind of rhythmically and then hit it harder, you're going to be shooting it mostly straight. So just if you can actually control the anxiety, which is my biggest issue, control the anxiety of getting in close and not jumping the gun, pun intended. But so that's just an example of going through everything, sitting there and thinking about who you are. So let me even ask you this. So if I were to classify myself in this game, I would say I'm not this person that's going to get you, like, I can't jump into a public lobby and kill like 15 people all the time like some other players. That's not my skill. My skill is being able to be versatile and trying to use different guns and being able to pass off different guns to teammates, or making good call outs, or knowing when to run, which is quite frankly the hardest and most important skill in this game. Because running or staying could be the difference between 4th place and 1st place. But so let me ask you something. Have you kind of thought about who you are as a player?
Yeah.
Yeah. So whoever said that first, tell me what kind of player you are.
For me, it's a lot of like being tactically aware of the situations, where you are, where the zone is, where the other teams are, so I can know, okay, if I go this way, I'm going to have the best advantage over everybody else outside of skill and everything, guns, tiers, all that. It's taking all that aside, I will have the best advantage over them. Convincing my team to go that way, being very leadership, I guess, type, and not as much damage.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's perfect. Okay, somebody else. I'll come back to you, Dancing, because I want to go more on that one.
All right.
Who else? Anyone else?
Yeah, I'm a very
guys can
I go to
Yeah.
to the side, like I try like third partying.
Okay.
Yeah, not so much ins, more strategic, like you just said.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Anybody else just like to go in guns blazing?
It depends on the attitude. It depends on my mood, I guess, of the day.
Okay. So my natural inclination is to go in guns blazing, even though I know that's not the right plan for me personally. So let me go to my team real quick. Let me go to my competitive team in red. So one of the things that when I was thinking about is how to put together the right kind of team. Now, there are players before, and we do not work well together because we're totally different. We all of a sudden start losing. Tony?
Who's your team right now?
Oh, yeah. It would be FXYZ, or Function, as he's known as. Noah O'Neill, who just thought I was in game, so he just actually messaged me. But Noah O'Neill and Logie 1010.
Okay. Good team.
Yes.
Oh, Logie,
and
yeah.
they make
Logie's
me look
awesome.
good. They make me look good. And so the thing is that for the three of them, sometimes, like if I have all four of them on a day, and obviously we can only play 3, if I know that I'm not in my best spot, I will actually defer to them to go, even if I am the squad leader and everything else. I'll let them play. But my point is this, is that to give you an idea, we are all in 4 different decades. One of us is 40, one of us is 33, one of us is 20, one of us is 14. And we're all able to get along and all able to talk, all able to have fun together. And part of the thing is that there's a lot of people and a lot of teams that are up in every different level of this game that just either they're really good because they're really talented, but they don't get along. I've seen massive blow-ups in person. Well, I mean, I guess you could say in person.
I have to keep myself muted,
what have you.
Justin.
But
Like, can I?
I guess my point is this: is that when you're finding a way to be better and a way to use your weapons more effectively, and specifically the 6 inches between your ears, which is what my coach would always say in baseball.
Yeah.
Your own mind, your own self, is that knowing who you are, knowing what you can bring to the team, being confident in that ability to the best that you can be, and knowing that other people have things to bring to the table, even if they are new, or even if you're jumping in a public lobby. Because if you jump in a public lobby and you have 2 randoms, you've got no choice but to work with those people. What do you take from each and every different encounter, each and every different player that you come across? How do you take it together? How do you put it together and make it you? So what I'm saying basically is that all these people, you can look at all the weapons videos, you can do all that practice, but I know a lot of people who are just so supremely skilled at this game, but sometimes they miss the other part of it, where they don't work well with the team, or maybe they get their emotions like way too crazy, and they end up like making bad decisions and bringing their team down. Part of the reason why, and part of the thing is, like with my clan Phoenix, you know, we're not like the super highest, we're not Cobra Cartel, we don't have like the craziest players of any of us. We have a lot of players who know how to work together. And I think the most underrated thing about this game is knowing how to work together and to make sacrifices for your other teammates. That's a weapon in and of itself. Because I don't always look, like if I'm recruiting for my clan, I do not always look at the guy that can kill the most people. Not interested necessarily in that. I'm interested in how that person how that person does it, how that person notices new things, how that person adapts to a situation in front of them. They don't have to sit there and double tap you from 50 miles with an op. But they want to know how to be better. They want to know how to be great in who they are. So my biggest thing for my team is that for me, I can get really, really hard on myself. I can get really, really mad at myself personally. I never get mad at them. I get mad at myself. And I can make decisions that are poor as a team leader and bring them down too. And so I've also surrounded myself with 3 people who are, their baseline is really relaxed.
Yeah.
And so you have this one guy, me, who's just like, oh, I freaking hate myself. What am I doing? And like, dude, chill. Like, It's game one. It's game one of 6. We've got all these other different things to do. So, what are things that you have noticed? Because I know you all probably have players that you love to play with. Give me an example of, and you guys can just shout them out, honestly. Give me an example of players that you actually love playing with and why you love playing with them.
John Harple.
Okay.
Suck up.
Well, teacher. I think. Well, no, Harple. I'll be honest. We've been playing together for more than a year, right? I know you in real life.
That's true. Yes.
I think exactly what you were saying is about the leadership and the team camaraderie and knowing when to go and knowing when to not. And you express that very cleanly in the game without being a jerk.
Yes.
So that's something that I totally appreciate, especially this last month or however many weeks it's been that rank play is out. So many people that I've played with for the past year have turned into asshats.
Oh, yeah.
And I could barely stand it, and I don't see, based on your past story about your team, and I know them too, I think it's just so important to remember it's supposed to be fun.
Yes.
I have the
Agreed.
hardest time having fun if I'm not winning. I do. That's one of my competitive issues. But
really? So you
But
don't
you have
fun
your
if you don't win?
wabi-sabi?
I have a hard time with that. But it depends on the time. See,
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
For example, knowing myself personally, like, being able to sit there and... Okay, so I'll give you just a small, quick example. I thought about quitting this game like a bazillion times.
Oh.
Because I was sitting there thinking, like, I don't have anywhere to go with this. I can't get any better. I'm just losing. All of a sudden, my kills have gone way down and all that other kind of stuff. And I get down on myself. I lose my confidence. Like, a lot of people will sit there and you just see them as all these, like, killing machines. And you just see them in game and you just see them destroying you. But you forget also there's a person behind that headset. And so... you can understand all the guns, you can do all the research you want to, but the real battle is the 6 inches between you. And whenever I'm playing poorly and I'm starting to feel bad about myself, my play just drops like off a cliff. And I can get killed by anyone at all times, and I'm just like out of it. So part of the reason why I wanted to talk about some of this stuff, and you yourselves being the weapon, is understanding how to dam off the overflow, I guess. It's almost like a psychological thing. Like, sometimes all of your emotions just go crazy because all of a sudden you just die in a terrible way, or you've been playing horrible, or you've been, like, specifically in this rank matches. Like, I was at Grand Banana. I was at like 230, and now I'm at like 500 plus. Because I was playing with other people who might not be on my level, or what have you, or just playing poorly. And it's hard to actually enjoy the game sometimes when you're doing that.
Yeah.
Been there.
Because you want to be competitive. Go ahead.
I was going to say, what do you do to, fix that in your sense? I mean, obviously one of your huge benefits is having such a supportive team that's able to sort of suck the positive energy back into you and encourage you. But what other things do you do? Because I know, honestly, the number of, and it's not really in this group itself, but that I've seen from a lot of people in comp, the rage quitting, the pure rage quitting, because they just can't handle it, and it's getting to the point where it's growing more and more and more. And I just wonder, do you have any ideas, or do you do anything specific to try to get out of that negative mind space, or pick yourself back up?
So, I think first off, like, I haven't actually taken a week off of comp in like 7 months since like September.
Oh.
So, like, I've been playing. I mean, we've had breaks, obviously, but between arc. But I have been playing every single one of those weeks for like 7-8 months straight. Since before I started Phoenix Parabellum. Like, which was in September. No, not September. Like January or something like that. And one of the things that I have to keep reminding myself of is that I have also learned a lot about myself in this game. And I'm not just talking about in this game. What am I able to handle? How to overcome something? Because like I take it personally when I'm like playing poorly. I always feel like I have to like prove myself to everybody and prove myself to the world. If I get killed by somebody who's brand new or completely really good, I feel like, oh, I gotta be able to do that. Like I can't do that. I can't allow myself to be that way. I take it personally because I want to be better and I want to be the best that I can be and all that other stuff. Because you get caught up in all the emotion. You get caught up in all the... I'm an emotional person. Just being truthful. And while that is okay and fine, it can cause me to be a little... I don't know. All over the place sometimes.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, but I had to learn that, hey, you know what? Sometimes that emotionality or whatever, that's not really a word. But sometimes it actually works, and sometimes it's great. And you can bring something really great to your team, whether you're emotional or not emotional or what have you. The idea is to know yourself and know how you can be great in the corner of whatever you do good in this game. And so, to answer your question a little more, Jiggy, is that I try to... One, I try to leave. Like if there's a way, a time that I can actually just step back and go completely get out of my headset and try to go do something else, what I'm gonna do. If I can't do that, I try to just be quiet and listen. Because one of the things I know about myself is I can sit there and start talking and complaining and being overbearing and completely take away the focus of my team. So I think listening and understanding that no matter what, the 1,000-foot view, and this is something I learned. Now, I'm just going to give you a quick background thing. I went to school for youth ministry, and speaking was one of the things that I did a lot.
I had a feeling.
Yeah. And so I did a lot of speaking, that's not what I do now. I'm not in that realm of anything. But one of the things that I always learned specifically is what is the immediate view, the 100-foot view, the 1,000-foot view. If you zoom in from the top down, like say there's a satellite zooming in on the bottom, like right at your head, and that is a metaphor for the immediate issues and stresses that are going on in your life right now. Stress, anxiety, all that stuff that makes you feel like everything's immediate, like your whole life's gone to crap, all that other kind of stuff. So what happens when you look the 100-foot view, the 1,000-foot view, and you realize that your life's not crap, your game's not crap, you're not terrible, you're just having a stressful moment right now. Exactly. You are literally in a spot where it feels like everything's going around you, but it's not. And it's hard to do that when people are yelling at you in game and all that other kind of stuff. So I try to be quiet and remind myself that, hey, dude, this is a game. It's not your life. And I take that not just in this game, but outside of this game. That's part of it. I've learned a lot of lessons about myself in this game. I've learned to overcome a lot of things. Because before I would have quit with stuff. But now, because I've forced myself to be here and forced myself to get better and overcome things, I now take it outside of my life, in my own real world. Because competition brings out the best and worst of us, right? So
yeah, just on that note, we'll be taking, payment for this Headspace service as well, because not only are you getting awesome experience and awesome skills, but we are now getting awesome mental health skills. So we'll be collecting payment later for that. I'm just kidding. Just had to say something about that. You are doing an amazing job. This is super helpful.
Okay, but like I talked to Pink Ponage before we did all this stuff, and I was like, what can I bring to this table that you guys already haven't? And knowing that you yourself are the weapon, you're the one that's fighting the battle. And you're not just fighting the battle in the game. You're not just using guns. You're fighting yourself. Mm-hmm. You're fighting the anxiety, the emotions. You're fighting all that other kind of stuff. Like, that's the hardest part. It's not mastering the guns. It's not mastering tactics. It's mastering yourself. And so, and what can you take away from, like, for example, okay, so who's a football fan? NFL football fan? Anybody? Raise your hand. I love football. I don't watch it as much as I used to. I play fantasy football. I'm in a ton of leagues. And then you see, if you ever watch the NFL draft or anything else, you see all these guys that come out into the NFL from college, and they're like, oh, this guy's amazing. He does all these things well. He's 6'5". He runs 1 billion miles an hour. He's so strong. He's so fast. He's so agile. He's so tough. And then he gets into the NFL, and all of a sudden, he's nothing more than a backup, and he's out of the NFL in 2 years. If he was so good, and he's got so many good things going on, why? The question is why does that person not succeed?
Mm-hmm.
So the reason why that person doesn't succeed, whether they're not able to handle the speed of the game, they're not able to handle all the things outside like money and all those other distractions, or they can't handle being the best player on their team anymore. They can't handle being the second best or the third best or the fourth best.
Mm-hmm.
Now, on my comp team, and now I will have my comp team disagreeing with me, maybe a little bit. I kind of hope. But I will say that the best player on my team is Function. Function is the guy that he strikes fear into everybody. You know what I mean? He does tons of damage. He does all that other kind of stuff. He does a lot of things really well. And I've learned that some days I'll be better than him, and a lot of other days he'll be better than me. But we're all working towards a goal. We're trying to win. We're trying to have fun. We're trying to go out and do the best that we can and enjoy it. Because quite frankly, like, I don't know if you saw this meme, but there's the meme of like, I want to go relax, and then the person turns on the super stressful video game to relax.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, turns on the super stressful video game, and that's their relaxing, which is totally me. And it's like, well, how come I can't relax? Oh, well, I'm taking all the things out in my life. I'm taking and putting in this game. And I'm taking it out on other people. And I'm taking it out on my teammates and all that other kind of stuff.
Not only that, but has anyone?
I guess
does anyone watch Slick Skills?
What I want to say is that when I mean that you guys are the weapon, you yourself are the weapon. Is that understanding yourself and what power you have within your squad, within your friends? Because I mean, we've all made friends in this game. We wouldn't be playing this game if we didn't. Let's be honest.
For sure.
I wouldn't be.
Oh yeah.
I freaking love to just jump on here and hang out with people that I have literally never met in real life. Who I don't even know their names in real life. Mm-hmm. But they know my name because apparently I'm stupid enough to put my real name on here.
And that well known, but yeah.
But that's the thing. Is when you get into comp, if you guys decide to go into comp, or you guys just want to do like any kind of thing with the Go P1 League or just anything random, is finding not just the people that you enjoy playing with, but find out what their strengths are. Find out what their weaknesses are. Be honest with yourself. I know a lot of people that have failed in comp because they're not self-aware of what they can and cannot do. I remember, I'm not going to name a name, but I remember a team that I know of that had this player who's really, really good, who's got a lot of talent, and they were like, the first group of people that that person would see, they would just run after them. They're like, I could get 2 or 3 of them before I go down. And that player is capable of doing that, but they would get knocked down and then put the onus on their team to try to like help him or help that person and just completely mess up everything. Even though they had all that talent and all that skill. So I guess ultimately, bottom line, I don't know what time it is right now, but I want you to take a look at yourself as a person and as a player here. I mean, I don't mean to be too like psychiatrist, psychologist on you.
No, I like this.
But
a lot of it is necessary.
Yep. Take a second to think.
Yeah, think about yourself. That's the biggest thing, is thinking about yourself and how you fit. Like, I have found that it's not, like, I want to be a player like Good Bad, or like Pink Ponage, who just runs in and he can just do all that stuff like that, but I also can bring a lot of other successful things to the table. Whether it's even sometimes just helping my team stay engaged when I'm not doing too well. Making a really, really stupid dad joke in the middle of a really tense situation.
Exactly.
And then just like completely just like decreasing the tension between what we're doing. And all of a sudden we're giggling and then we're back on track. Like,
that is so like me. I got called out. That was one thing on my negative performance review that I got, was that when there was a time of extreme anxiety and panic in the audit room, Jacob felt the need to try to make jokes to lighten the atmosphere, sometimes just, distracting others. I'm like, we've been in this room for 14 hours with no windows. Like, a joke is not a big deal, right? Like, it just it changes everything. It changes the whole dynamic.
Agree.
And see, that's one of the things that I love doing, is that it's just like, you know what, man, I'm going to keep playing. Some of my days are going to be good. Some of them are going to be bad. I'm going to get killed by a bunch of people, probably that are not maybe as good as I am or as gifted as I am. But you know what? That's not really the point. It's not really the point either. I can get down on myself. I can beat myself up for all of it. Or I can just be like, you know what? Hey, man. Even though it's stressful now, it's going to be better tomorrow. Or the next game. Or the next game, or the next game, or the next game after that. If I have to keep telling myself that. Yeah, Tony?
Just something quick, because you mentioned it twice. I saw you getting dragged on the internet for using your government name in-game. But I think that having my real name in-game has helped me become immersed in Pop 1 at a different level. When they're like, hey, Tony, or John, or Harple, right? Or, a few of you in there.
Mine.
So, same.
Yeah.
So, don't let it get you down.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Jakey.
There's something to be said for having your real name in there. Yeah, Jakey, let's go.
I do like it. I do love it. I do love it because I'm just like, because the funny thing is that I'm not my other teammate Noah. That's his name.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Like, I don't know. Like we've now done video calls and stuff like that. Him trying to help me with my computer and help me with all this other kind of stuff like that. Because like, you can be good in game, but you can also, like, once you start to get to know people and start to play with people, and like you're on a team with people, like I am with Noah and Function and Logie. I sit there and I'm like, hey Logie, how was your golf tournament last weekend? Like,
right.
Like, how was your golf tournament? Or like, hey Function, how was that marathon you just ran? Or like, all these different cool things that all of my other teammates are doing. Or
when we all hung out in Vegas, nobody stopped using their gamer names. I mean, it was still gamer names the whole time. It was like,
I'm so sad I missed that.
It was really fun.
Is it classified stalking when you spend an hour trying to find them on TikTok or Instagram? I just wondered that, because I figured out someone's name and it took me over an hour to find them. But I knew
asking for a friend. Asking for a friend.
Exactly. Yeah. It's just wondering if that's wrong. Yeah, exactly.
No, not if you've actually met the person and the person likes you.
I haven't.
That's actually going to be the topic for next week's discussion. So
great.
We'll have a lawyer
stalking?
here. Yeah, we'll have a lawyer here.
You had a baby.
The definition of stalking in a legal sense?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, good.
Any other questions that people have? I mean, this has been unbelievably helpful. I'm almost speechless because I think it really is, underappreciated how important team dynamic and having that morale as a group is. I mean, if you don't have that morale and you're constantly down on yourselves and down on your teammates, there's no way to succeed. How are you going to be successful? I mean, if you are successful, let's say to your satisfaction, you just get that bitterness feeling. It builds and builds and builds. It's just, you hit the nail on the coffin with that, I think. I mean, it's all about teamwork.
Definitely.
And I think a good, the way I've said this a bunch of times to various people, players are easy to get killed, or some variation of this. Good players can be killed. Good teams are hard to eliminate.
Yeah.
Boom.
I like that.
True.
You can kill one guy, you can kill one player, you can kill a second player, but if that player, if you have a good team and good communication and know what you're doing and run away, and then all of a sudden, I always hate leaving good teams to get away.
Right.
It always comes back to bite me. It came back to bite me twice last night.
Really?
Yeah, because I was like, oh man, I really don't want to leave them, but they're so far in zone. They ended up coming back and killing me anyway.
I have another question,
but it still ticked me off. But yeah.
So end game, last two teams. You have how many slots for heals, and what is your heal loadout? End of game, last two teams.
See, this is something that, watching the pick ponage stuff and all that other kind of stuff and thinking about that is something that I need to work on better. Because,
so I only ever use 2 slots, one for nanas, one for shield sodas, because I'm really fast on them.
Yeah.
And then I'm reading, everybody's freaking having 3 heal slots. On the game, they all have three for heals.
Yeah,
so shakers, sodas, and nanas. So I'm wondering, what do you do?
I will say that I generally carry 3 guns at all times. I shouldn't probably, but I always feel safer that way.
You need one for every kind of range, long range, short range, and medium range.
But see, that's the thing in comp, though. In comp and in some of those small squares that you get in, and there's literally 15 people left, and it happens a lot. And where you have to, you have to be really patient, which is my biggest weakness, especially. My biggest weakness at the final zone is being patient and being tactical, because I just want to be all right, let's finish this right now. It's only us and and then I get killed and then put my team at a disadvantage, because I do that a lot. But it's that's my biggest weakness of anything, because I'm just let's do this. They're almost dead, and then I come around the corner and they're completely full of health. But and standing in front of me with AKs. But I would like to experiment with trying to switch down to 2 guns, 3 sets of heals, and grenades.
And no sword.
I am terrible with the sword.
But what about the speed boost?
I was about to say, I just use it for the speed boost.
I love the sword. 25% speed boost. If I don't have the sword, I feel like I'm walking through cement.
Agreed.
If you're in a small zone, with a lot of different players, it's really, really hard. You have to be really, really, in red level, you have to be really, really, really good with the sword.
You got to get your mech on.
Yes, you have to be really, really good with it in order for it to be really successful. Otherwise, it's almost just like a movement, and people maybe throw it away at the end of the zone because they don't need to move as much. You know what I mean? And not to mention, sometimes it's a big disadvantage if you don't, a lot of people don't realize is that if you move the sword in certain ways, it's just basically
it's so visible.
It's nothing.
Yeah. So when there's this past week, when it's final 2 teams, I ditch the sword, pick up more heals, more shields.
Yes,
so,
same.
It's going pretty good.
Yeah, and you know what though? I was just gonna. I'll go over my loadout really quick. So I have 2 different loadouts that I do in game comp. Although now it feels like I'm playing comp in every pub lobby. Even more so than sometimes in other lobbies, because I'm legitimately...
The last couple nights have been crazy.
I've had some of the toughest fights I've ever had in this game, period, and they're just in public lobbies. Because I'm just oh, look, here's this team. Oh, we just played you last week in Arc. And this team we played in Arc. Oh, wait, you're a Diamond team. You know what I mean? All that other kind of stuff. But, for example, I like in pubs, if I were to not have to worry too much about placement and all that stuff, I'd like to use the Uzis. I like to use one thing that I've realized, that peeking is something that has changed in this game, because in comp, peeking is literally a necessity. Yeah. It's almost like a regardless of if you like it or not, you have to do it and you have to be good at it. But with the hit scan and the way the guns have changed, it has changed up everything.
Yeah.
Because you can't just hold your head out and then aim your shot, because they can instantly hit you across the map, wherever they're at. And so what I found is that guns like the Magnum, I think the Magnum to me is the only gun that is useful at all ranges. Mm-hmm. It's still somewhat useful in close, not as much as it used to be, but it's still useful because it has an instant connection with somebody's body. You can get off a lot of shots. It's pretty controllable. So I'd recommend learning how to do those things, because we could talk about how you shoot down builds and all that other kind of stuff like that. I'd recommend trying to learn that, like learning still how to like peek or not. Here's an example. I'm going to give you a good example. So, all right, I'm going to come over here this way. Actually, I'm going to come over to this side. So, I was playing competitive lobbies once, and I thought, oh, I'm stuck. I got killed right here. Okay, I was peek shooting a really good team right here, and I was trying to hold them off while my other teammates were in that building, holding off another team. And like, I'm friends with these guys. So...
Are they signed? Where are they? Signed Metropolis
some
Summit?
of them are signed, some of them are here. Like, I'm also surrounded by a team over, well, it was before this whole Metropolis thing. So they would have been over here.
You have low ground.
We have low ground. We have somebody up here, somebody over here. We have another team over that way. It's almost the end of the zone. I decided that it was a brilliant idea to sit here and do this and peek too long. I die. I panic. I go over this way, go back to my other teammates, only to get rezzed. Come back thinking it's a wonderful idea to come back and get my kill. No, I didn't even get to peek at that point.
They were waiting.
They just naded the hell out of me. They naded the hell out of me. And they're like, dude, what are you doing? It's like, dude, you know, that's... What I'm trying to point out is the idea is that you live and you learn in this game, because even I or somebody else makes sometimes the stupidest, most bonehead mistakes you could possibly do. Just because someone has incredible stats or is incredibly good at the game doesn't mean that they're always perfect at it. We're not killing machines because we have a different, like, we're all fighting in our own heads. Yeah. We all make mistakes. We all screw up the DT reload a lot more than normal now. We all screw up the whatever. I stopped even touching that gun.
I still pull up my map when I'm climbing with Uzis. And...
Oh, yeah.
It's being patient with yourself and figuring out how to, like, be better at what you do. And also stretching yourself out so you can learn to do other things too. Like, if I have a gun, like, say I'm trying to shoot at all of you, one person to one person to one person, I realize that my confidence level and my thought process are different. I feel when I do really good, I'm not thinking about shooting anyone. I'm just shooting, if that makes sense to you.
Yeah. You get in the zone.
Just in the zone. I'm just shooting, I'm just doing this, and I can just do anything I want with these guns. Just anything. And then I get into the lobby, and then all of a sudden I'm sitting there and I'm like just messing around and shooting somebody in pre-lobby, and I'm like, dude, what am I doing? I can't even pull this trigger correctly. Like, I just literally just annihilated all these people with this gun, and I can't do it at all in here. And that's the trick. So when you're mastering all these different guns that, you know, you've seen all these different things for, is just learning that it's like, you gotta box out the idea of doubt in your head and like, oh, I just can't do this. I just can't even today. Or, oh, I can't get used to this. It's just literally like, say it's DGA right here. I can't be thinking about your name. I can't care about the fact if you're, say you were like, just for example, like, I can't think of you as DGA director. I can't think of you as Sumachi. I can't think of you as the person that killed me 5 times or something like that. I can't think about any of that. I have to think about as that's a target, and I have to hit that target. And I'm going to do it. Because quite frankly, it's really fun. It's really interesting because when you get to my level, or like when you get to the point where people recognize you, they get scared of you sometimes. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, you could kill me, but it's already in your head that you might, like, I'm already in your head without even trying to be in your head.
Your IQ drops 10% when you're stressed out, so it's an advantage you have.
Yeah. So it's just kind of like, I can't be looking at him like...
Is that true?
He's this person.
When you're stressed out, your IQ drops. You make rash decisions.
Wow.
So it's just like, sometimes I find myself being like, oh my gosh, how am I going to beat this team? It's not really about how you're going to beat this team. It's how are you going to, like...
Complete the mission.
Defeat the ghost in your head. You know what I mean? Just because he's Sumachi, just because he's good bet, just because he's Pink Pony, just because he's Orzo or Clev or Tech 9, all those different players, just because they're them, you all can kill them. Now, it might not always come out on your best, we're probably going to lose most of the time, but you can get them.
Yeah.
Because you have to look at them not as though, oh crap, that's that guy that's got like 7 kills per game. It's more like, hey, that's that dude I can take out.
Mm-hmm.
And if I can't take him out, all my teammates are going to help me, back me up, and try to do the best that we can to take them down. If we lose, we lose.
For sure.
Last I think it was 2 nights ago, I was playing against Galaxy Man, and I'm just like, you know what? He's a really good player. I hate the fact that he just killed me, but honestly, well done. I made bad plays, I made bad decisions with it, but in all honesty, it's like, I'll have a chance to get him back later.
I mean, you could be completely even players and then just have one single differentiating factor, which could be high ground. It can be hard. It could be any tiny minutia, and everything else constant. And that one tiny advantage is what changes the game. So it's one of those situations where, yeah, you're right. You can absolutely kill anyone, and it's about having a proper team dynamic where you're able to communicate. This person killed me at this location. Get back to get rezzed. Come back as a group. Not just rush back out. Sort of thinking as you go and making moves.
And that on that same note, one of the things that I hear a lot of players that are my level or higher to talk about is they don't always mind with playing with players who are less than, like, on lower levels or lower skill levels than them, as long as you communicate.
Yes.
Yes.
And you aren't stubborn about
Fact.
your movements, and you aren't stubborn about, like, hey, I'm just going to go loot this place. I'm like, dude, there are 6 people surrounding me and my other teammate,
Yes.
and you're over there looting for 5 minutes. Like, dude, what are you doing? Like, that's when I kind of turn off the calm factor. I'm just like, dude, just get your ass over here. Like,
Right.
at that point, it's probably too late anyway. But, like, part of the way to get better at this game is playing with other people who are better than you and learning from them. But if you want to do that and you want to have other people enjoy play with you, is learn your communications. Learn how to call out players. Learn to not dominate the mic or give too much information, because too much information is just as bad as too little information.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so learn how to be really specific, like, hey, hey, he's at this sign, or he's here, he's coming up on you, or he's coming up towards you. You have 3 seconds, 3, 2, 1, and he will be like, if I'm dead, that's what I'm doing. I'm like, if my teammate is here and he's being pursued here, I'm going to literally be over here telling him in as clear and concise of communication as I can be. You have 2 players. They're 2 feet apart. One has a DT, one has an M10. You have 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1, now. Like, that's what I try to do. I don't always do a good job of it, but that's what I want to try to do.
I like the countdown.
I remember when I was playing with VRS Maxican and VRS Phil. I don't know how to say his whole name.
Philosophosaurus.
He just dropped in mid-game. Phil just dropped in mid-game because his headset died, and it was just me and Max. The final zone, 3 players. I'm dead. It's just him. Mm-hmm. He's got cover. The other team's got cover. And instead of even really reviving me, they ended up, for some reason, coming in almost one at a time. And I'm just like, Max, M10, 3 seconds, coming out right where I'm coming at. 3, 2, 1, now. and he pulls out his DT and annihilates that person. And then the next person comes up to your left, right in line with me. 3, 2, 1, now. Those 2 guys are dead. He revives me, and we have the advantage, and we go take them out. Like,
that's huge.
Pretty dope.
That's absolutely great. And I do the exact same thing.
Felt great.
I would rather not get revived.
Oh, it did. It felt wonderful.
Yeah, I bet it did.
Like, I don't like when people are like, revive me, begging for a revive, and while you're the only one alive, right? And you're trying to make sure you stay alive. You need to know where people are, right? You don't need a bunch of screaming people, revive me, revive. I would rather stay as a ghost and be able to give out cues to my teammates, unless they are outnumbered. But, in certain factors, I would much rather follow them and absolutely give location than to demand being revived.
Information is almost more important than than how good you are with guns.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Like whenever I'm alive and like my teammates are down, I'll be like, okay, I need eyes. I need to know where they are. I need to be aware of my surroundings so that I can perform to the best and know what I need to do exactly so I can take them out. But instead of reviving them, that's what you're saying.
And what weapon they have, as you said. That's the other critical thing that I've helped with a lot of my, the small squads that I usually will meet up with, is also saying, not just telling me when they're coming, but what do they have in their hand? Please tell me what they have in their hands, because it could be a disaster. Exactly. It could be a disaster if you, just underestimate the person coming on you. Or I always say, like, you got to give me the weapon type, so I can easily know what to switch to on my side.
For example, I subbed in at Go P1 on Monday with Fuse and Half Alive. Now, I know Fuse a lot. He's another player on Phoenix. Really good player. And we get wiped out basically up top there, over there. And we have all teams are alive at this point. And it's just me. I'm stuck in a building. And I literally just wait most everybody out. And I literally have people fighting all around me, maybe 20 feet away, but surrounding me. But because I knew what I had in my inventory, and I had 2 teammates who could tell me what was going on, and the element of surprise, I almost ended up finishing that match without... I did revive them at one point, but we went from 6th place to 2nd place, and I nearly finished off the last person.
Wow.
Nice.
I think I had 4 kills in that match just at the end, just because I used the element of surprise for myself. I knew what guns I had the right weapons for the right time, and my teammates were letting me know what was happening in front of me rather than just screaming at me, please revive, please revive. Just giving me information that I used to just... It was almost like automatic for me, because it was like, okay, I know what's coming. You've already given me a picture. I can already see I have a visual idea of what is happening in my mind before it actually happens. So instead of like just sitting there and waiting to die, I would literally pop out and just go crazy with matadors, pop back in, and all of a sudden, instead of being at a disadvantage, all of a sudden no one could come into that spot with us, and we had all that person's guns that I had just killed.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
And that changed absolutely everything.
They thought you were trapped with them, but they were trapped in there with you.
I came this close, close to killing Darth. You can actually go back on Pink Ponage's Go 1 stream from that after the first match.
Harple, I got to jump out, but you did.
Oh yeah.
This was so great. Thank you so much. It was great to see you, and this was super informative and great. And hey, Jakey6, it was really good.
Nice meeting
really
you
good.
as well.
Good job.
Yeah.
Well,
Monique,
I don't really have
All right,
anything.
take care, Tony.
post the
Take care of
video.
yourself, Tony.
Noetic, director, see
Tony.
you guys.
Oh yeah.
See ya.
No, I think
I
you've
could probably
given
go on forever.
such. Oh,
So,
I'm the same way. I mean, I think
I
it's
have a
funny
question.
how many professors and teachers and lecturers there are, but that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, go. Good
Yeah,
Sorry,
job.
question. So I was playing, was it comps with VRS Demolition and whoever else?
Yeah.
Well, our teammate, his headset crashed and he got kicked.
Yeah.
So, we were in zone. So do you normally want to stay in zone? or do you? And there was still a bunch of squads left, or should you leave zone and come in? Because they're all going to be pushing you. Should you like stay back?
Well, let me ask you a couple questions. So you said that you had your teammate just dropped out.
Exactly.
And you were in zone. How many teams were left?
There was only 2, but it was about to be just 1-on-1.
Okay, it was about to be just 1-on-1.
We made it to second place, but it was just 2 of us because we were in zone, and then our teammate got his headset crashed. We were in a good position, but then it was just 2 against 1, just 2 guys against 6 because they were both pushing us.
Okay, so at that point, you have to try to hide if you can.
Oh, okay.
Like you have to get those 2 teams to fight each other some way. If they're focused on you, you gotta try. It's not easy. Try to lead them into each other, because if it's just the 2 of you, and all of a sudden, dang, there's 2 teams. Oh crap, there's 3 other people over here shooting at this other team. They have to focus on each other. That gives you the opportunity to step back, take stock of the situation first of all, wait for the right moment to third party, and then hit them when the winning team from that fight is most vulnerable, because that's the only shot that you've got. Because the only shot that you have is to sit there and say, we might be 3-on-2, but if those 3 people, like 2 of them just got rezzed and they're literally picking up their stuff that they just died from, it's not 3-on-2. It's more like 2-on-1.5 with a knife.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sometimes when you get to that smaller zone, it's about numbers. It's about it's situational awareness of knowing, hey, this team, they're hurt.
Yeah.
But if there's another team that's got the positioning on you and that other team, you can't do anything about it, because you're just going to go walk out right in the middle, and you're going to be picked off by that team. Because even in red division and even gold and diamond, if you pop your head out a whole lot, or you go without builds or anything like that, you will die faster than you can even believe. It's just knowing, because I'm not saying that you did anything wrong, because a lot of times there's not anything you can do. You just have to kind of get lucky.
It was a bad position too. It was right there in where's that? We were playing plains, and right in between armory. I mean, exactly. So there was just rocks there. There was no place to hide either.
Oh yeah.
So it was awful. So we were just right in the open.
In the zone, or were you out of zone?
We were in zone. Yeah, in zone.
Okay.
See, at that point, I probably would just, if you're able to just somehow not escape, but people forget about you, then you just gotta stand there almost.
Yeah.
Take stock of what's going on, and hope for the best.
Yeah.
You know, be ready to move when you can. I mean, that's the best that I got. I mean, every situation is different.
John, I really appreciate it. I've got to get out of here as well. Thank you so much for all this great information and your time and everything.
Yeah, this was awesome.
Yeah, thanks.
Well, I'm glad I could be helpful.
You, of course. I was out, thinking we do these coaching scrims on Friday, and I want to try to figure out if we can make a more specialized coaching scrims. What it normally is it's like a squad of 3 and then a mentor who doesn't do any engagement, but actually, gives cues, gives clues, sort of guides the squad on how to rotate around the map in a scrim. I was wondering, and it's not going to be this week, but maybe another week, and let me know what you think, about having, squads of 3, 2 individuals, and the other person is a mentor that can, instead of just, giving verbal cue, help them with communication skills. So show them how, to communicate as the lead, or as the front, or as, the anchor. What do you think about that?
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's one of the biggest hurdles for most people is they just can't communicate at all.
And see, that's really, really important, because for one, for my team and the skill level that we're at, we don't really do a designated, hey, you're the anchor and you're this. It switches moment to moment without us ever having to actually vocalize it.
That's even
because
better.
we've played enough together to know kind of what each other is going to do. I make comments if we're too far away, we need to rein it in a little bit, like, because I also don't want to, like, for example, I'm not always the most creative when it comes to strategies. Sometimes the Hail Mary play is the only play that you can have. And so there are moments where, like, for example, Logi, who's like fast and agile and really quick with everything, and like, he's really good at a lot of stuff, but he's also really good at the outside of the box play. And so when you need the outside of the box play, I'm like, Logi, it's yours. Like, if you need to literally just climb up the tower and just land on the opposite side of, like, cemetery because we're in trouble, and then all of a sudden now he can res us on the opposite side of the wall, and now we have completely crazy position and we have a better shot of getting better. Like, it's not just not like stomping down someone's creativity or what they bring to the team, but I'll be like, all right, Logi, let's do it. Like, or Function's got an idea, let's do it. Like, that's a better idea than what I had anyway. Like I don't have to be master and commander, and I'm not. Like, but specifically for what you're saying, I think that would be a really good thing. Like,
like, to teach the different skill, like, to, not be the one that's always speaking, but to show, like, what are the different kinds of communications that are helpful and what's overkill, and then have each other, have it 3 or 4 rounds, and then as it goes around, the other 2, will swap back and forth, taking more of a communications approach, and then maybe the last round you see how natural are you as a team? Are you able to communicate all together without having a lead? That might just be, and I'm just spitballing, but I'm just thinking of ways to try to get people's, communication skills and their ability to actually, not be too dominant, but also be helpful.
I have a team in mind that I think would be really, really incredible for that. I just don't think their schedules would work.
Yeah.
But, Phoenix down the squad with Happy Cows, QN, and Bevan.
Oh, yeah.
He's really, 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 really good with all that kind of stuff. Specifically, QN, their squad leader.
Oh, that's a good idea.
He's actually helped me quite a bit in that respect as well. And learning about, like, being a vanguard or being this kind of stuff. And I don't overtly talk about those things in my squad, but we kind of already moved into those things. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if I'm playing poorly, or, like, all of a sudden, like, I'm just really good in close that day, I'll take more, like, then that's what I'll do. And then the other 2 just kind of fill in wherever they're needed, or, like, if Function's really hot that day, we move around Function, or we move around Noah, or we move around Logi. Like,
yeah, that's really helpful. And Happy Cows does a ton of our events, so that might make it even easier. So that's a good suggest.
Happy and Bevan are very good together as a team and a tandem.
It'll be interesting to see them on other sides.
Yeah, Q is their kind of master and commander. He's very good at the kind of stuff like that.
That's very helpful.
They would be a really good. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it just would be a great skill that we can try to impart whatever we can. I always am thinking. But thank you so much once again for all of your time, answering the questions.
Yeah, that's great.
You're always welcome. You're a very welcome part of our community. If you ever want to do anything or you have any ideas on how we can improve, just let me know. But we really appreciate it, and we hope to see you soon. Another event.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, thank you, John.
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
That was awesome.
And thank you for coming to be here, I guess. I mean, I didn't expect anybody to be here, but
you
Thanks
got
for inviting us.
but yeah, I will let you. I will bid you guys adieu, I guess.
Absolutely. Oh, and if
I
you have
have
any,
a question
if
before
you
you
have
go.
any, sorry, one quick thing before I forget. If you have any
Okay.
social media links that you you post to, just DM them to me, because when I put the video together at the end, I like to make sure that people have like links directly to you so that you get credit.
Okay.
So if you have that, just let me know.
I don't.
It's not necessary. Some people are creators, some people aren't. But anyway, sorry about that. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. What were you saying?
So how do I like join a team? I don't really have anybody I have like solid connections with. That's just really me, and so I have to play with randoms. Is there like a place I can go and find people, or what?
I think in some ways there is. I mean,
Yeah.
Here, let me friend you real quick.
Okay.
Let me friend you real quick.
That's a huge.
Do you have a Discord?
I do. Instagram,
You do?
TikTok, YouTube, all that.
Okay. Oh my gosh, come on.
It's been
Come on.
getting funky. It made me like back
there we
and
go.
forth.
Okay.
Hey, John, can I
So-
send you a friend request too?
Yeah.
Just-
All
Thank
right.
you.
So I'm friends with both of you guys, I think.
Yeah.
Right? Monique, I
Yes,
know I'm
yes.
friends with you.
Mhm.
All right.
Okay.
I
don't think we're friends.
Come on, this is so stupid.
Isn't
Why
it
does this not
ridiculous? I don't know.
It
Like,
used to be so much easier.
There we go.
Wait, what?
No.
Oh, did it work?
Oh,
Wait. No. What?
So
Wow.
It
Oh,
does
wait,
that-
wait,
yeah,
it's
it-
working now.
oh my god.
It's working.
All right.
I love that I'm
But anyway.
recording this right
There it
now.
is,
I
there
just
it is.
love that. Okay, that's going
And
for big box.
just so, also, you can message me on Discord. I'm PX John Harple. It's actually lowercase, but don't ask me why it was lowercase. Don't ask me why I did any of this. But actually, if you find me, you can find me in
You'll
the
find me.
6 mentor group.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can actually see me there and message me, and we can even talk about it even more. Because they're, like, I don't know if you have a place for friend codes and stuff like that.
Yeah, we do.
Okay.
Yep.
So that would be one thing to do.
okay.
Because specifically, like, for example, if you get into like a clan, I mean, you're just gonna probably just have friends who are in the clan. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like,
Yeah.
I play with a lot of people that aren't in clans or in different clans or, all that other kind of stuff. So like, I think, well, I can talk to you more on like Discord.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll message you. Yeah.
And what I can even do is like set up a thread for you guys and people that you would like to invite, like a private thread that you can invite people and maybe make introductions or something like that on the 6 mentoring. Because there's probably some people, I know there's a lot of mentors that are interested in like getting some of the people that they know in lower divisions assistance, you know what I mean, and teaming up with them. And so there's a lot of resources we have as well. So I think between John's going to really help you out. But let me know if you need any hookups too. We can try to find some people for you to hang out with.
All right. Cool.
Yeah.
Thanks.
That's-
for sure.
And I'll be honest with you, playing with like, say you find one really good high level player that you play with, you'll probably get introduced to a bunch of other players too.
Oh yeah,
That's the other thing.
right.
That's how
away.
I started knowing other people, was like, I mean, some of it now is comp because, like, it's like, hey, dude, you did really well there. Can we be friends? Like, we had a
Right.
really good fight there. It's so weird because, honestly, it's like whenever you're like, it's a weird dynamic because it's like, hey, you know what? You killed me last game. You did a really good job. Here, let's be friends.
Aw, you just give a
Yes.
hug.
Like, you know what I mean? Like how
Yeah.
how counterintuitive is that? But like, it's like, you played that really well. You want to play some other time? And then all of a sudden, that person's playing with you, and it's just, that's the funny part of
That's what I like about
this
it.
game.
Yeah.
Social aspect. Yeah.
Yeah, so definitely check out,
Agreed.
and we'll send you a bunch of resources, but the friend code
Okay.
channel will have pretty much everyone in our group's friend codes, so you can look up the people, look at how they chat, if they seem like they're your kind of people, and then just start adding people. And
Alright.
then check out Squad Up as well, where you can make a post like, hey, is anyone wanting to join up right now? If you start to join up with some people, you'll get to learn so many more people because they'll have someone else that they can add to the group.
Yeah.
So
Everybody like 5 people. Yeah.
yeah, and I'm on all the time, so if you ever put on anything on Squad Up, I'll probably see it in 2 minutes.
Okay.
It won't take very long.
Sounds good, guys.
Yeah.
All right,
but
well,
thank
I
you.
do have to get going. My headset's dying a lot faster than normal right
Right.
now. It's weird.
Yes, I just
Mm.
plugged in my battery.
You
I mean,
were
we've only been here for
awesome.
like an hour and a half, and my headset's
Yeah.
almost dead. That's weird.
Yeah, and you gave us
that
a
reminds
nice
me. I gotta
mindfulness
change my
class,
controllers too.
right?
My
Rechargeable
controllers are almost
batteries.
dead too. I always
Hey,
buy
real
the
quick,
Amazon
John,
ones, but yeah.
Do you ever, like, sometime can I just, like, play a couple game of squads with you and just, like, maybe just, like, follow you exactly what you do to become better? I'm only level 43.
That's okay, man.
Well, actually, real quick. So I'm level 43, but on another count, I'm level 41. So what actually?
So you're
level am I?
basically like a level 55 at this point.
Oh, okay.
You're basically
okay,
like
okay.
55
Yeah.
or 57.
All right.
That's basically what you are.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so dude, yeah. I wouldn't consider, like,
The XP
most of my
to get
comp
up
teammates
there
are, oh my god,
is ridiculous.
Don't even.
It's so stupid.
Getting gold PJ, like, I got it like 6 or 7 months ago, but it was just the worst grind, just ever.
Definitely.
I did it in like I think I did it in a month and a half or a month and 3 weeks or something like that, and I regretted it. I totally regretted it because I'm just like, oh look, it went up by like a microcentimeter, like, like
And now they're
every single
62.
time.
Womp womp womp.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't worry about that.
Yeah, in the VRS scrims or whatever it was, there was 5 level 62 skins in there, and I was like, that was scary.
I like VRS.
like-
They're
They're awesome.
They're
I
cool
do
people.
play
That's why I'm
quite-
joining.
quite
I know
a
a
few.
few people that are helping me become that.
Yeah.
So
Max is awesome.
it's fun.
Max is awesome.
Oh, yeah.
I just a second ago I had Mitch just ask me if I want to play Mitch, but I do play with quite a few of them. I usually a rotating group of them, but
Nice. Well, once
I mean,
again,
like I thought. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
no, I was going to
I'm not
say,
gonna keep talking.
I'm not going to keep you guys hostage. So it was great, all hanging out, and I'm going to head out. But you guys, it's your room when I leave. So do whatever you
I'm
guys
down
would
for
like.
a game, whatever.
And
I need to get going though. I really do.
Yeah, I gotta go too.
Okay.
I'm
Alright.
actually at my I got off of work at like 8:35 or 8:40, and it's a half an hour drive to my house. So I stopped at my mom's house and just got on her internet
Oh
to
my God.
be able to play. I
That's
used to do all my
so
comp
awesome.
matches at my mom's house, just
That's
because
awesome.
it's 10 minutes as opposed to 30.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. I love that.
Hey, real quick, hey, do you want to play a game of squads real quick?
That was
Yeah.
awesome.
I do
Thanks so
too.
much.